Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. My name is Fani Reinders. Welcome. It is Tuesday night, time for some live coding goodness. Today we're going to be looking back yet again, working on my little application, WinForms application. And we're going to... Oh, sorry. Dude, it's Monday. Where am I? Cut. Let's start over. Gerald just reminded me it is Monday. But you know what? It's Tuesday somewhere. I'm talking to the folks in Australia. Hopefully it's Tuesday there. But in any case, happy Monday, folks. Yes, actually it is still Monday. Can you believe it? Cyber Monday, it's still on. Anyway, my name is Fani Reinders. Welcome, and thank you so much, guys, for correcting me there. Gerald Voslays, welcome to the chat. Code Stencil, like always, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys. Like I was saying, we're going to be digging into the code again. It's hectic legacy code, and today I've done some refactoring. Today offline, I'm going to be showing what I've done. But this whole authentication thing that we've been doing so far, it's working brilliantly. Furthermore, that it's actually to a point that I'm actually urging myself to wire up the CI/CD. And the choice is, do I do it with Azure DevOps or do I do it with GitHub Actions? So think about it. Maybe we can come to a conclusion together. So we'll be spending some time today, maybe refactoring this code a bit, making it a bit more modular, you know, and maybe making it a bit more user friendly. Games Make, thank you so much. Hello, hello there, guys. If you don't know, here on the right hand side, I don't think there's there was a bit of a delay when we started off, but I think it's working now. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, just be nice, but just ask it, and I'll stop and we will tackle it together. So Games, thank you so much for waving. Let me see what happens. What happened in the past. CM Bruno, thank you so much for the follow. It's about a few days ago. Nico Tube, 3 hours ago. So much. Thank you so much. So much. Just capturing it out of there. Thank you so much for the follow. And of course, Gerald just cheered 10 bits. Gerald, like always, you're the bomb. You're the bomb, man. You're the bomb. If you've just joined us, you're just in time because stuff is gonna get real. How's everyone doing? I think what's happening here? Something is up with the music here. It's just 1 second. I've been having so much fun. Oh, can it be? There we go. That should do the trick. The music is off now, I think. Was having so much fun doing a little dance for you guys. But in any case, let's see if I can... Why did it go away? Just want to quickly see what's happening. 1 second. Din, 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 din. Din, din, din. Okay, so now, of course, Pretzel is now... I'm using Pretzel, by the way, for the background music. And I think It's not working anymore for some reason. Why is my music off? It's a bit of a sad thing. It's defaulting. Why is this thing defaulting to? Okay, so that's the best I will get it for now. At least there's some tunes. Just give me a heads up on the chat if the music is not so loud, because I cannot really hear myself, but I can hear the music, and this should be fine. I don't know why it does not want to play my normal way, but anyways, guys, welcome to the show. Like I said, today we're going to be focusing on refactoring old code again. You know, we've been, for the past couple of 5 or 6 episodes, we've been doing a lot of refactoring on old C# code, but it's starting to get to a point where it's kind of shippable, I would say. It's open source. Go check it out. I'm posting the link now. Let's actually copy it. GitHub. Company renders, and you wanted to be able to follow along. This is the master branch, so you want to be able to follow along there. If you want to, just go and clone that repo if you want. Okay, Code Stencil, I will wait here. I will be around, and go do your thing, man. Go do your thing. Okay, so in any case, where was I? Everyone good? I think let's actually skip the song because it's kind of random. Just maybe see what's happening. That sounds much better. Alright, so let's switch over to the screen. Boom. Okay, so what I have here is not really what I wanted to show. Okay, going back. So what we have here. So yet again, starting with a demo. For the folks that just joined us, what you're seeing now was an old VB.NET application 10 plus years ago, probably about 15-ish years ago. It's still working, but the problem was it's compiled. I do not have the source code, so I took it on myself to find the exe somewhere. It's out of date. I'll actually show you, and then I wonder if it will be here though. There's the exe, and that's now okay. That's different because it's been, don't have all the other stats. But in any case, so to make changes, we had to get the source code, right? And how do you get the source code? You decompile it, and using JetBrains is I always forget that JetBrains tool. I think I have it here somewhere. In any case, it's people in the chat will remind you what it was called. Using that, you can decompile it from IL. Now, what is IL? It's intermediate language. So for .NET, it was .NET 2 at that point. .NET code gets compiled into something called intermediate language. So that's something that the .NET runtime can understand and execute code. So what the decompiler does is take IL and kind of reverse engineers it back into the language of your choice, any .NET language. So it was VB.NET, which is okay, but it's not my favorite anymore. So I went from VB.NET, IL, and I went back to C# again. And a lot of these things that we see is not exactly the code that I've written myself. It's kind of reverse engineered code in a sense, but it's fairly close. And I think 90% of the time I will just blame the IL reverse engineer process because it's crappy code. Don't judge my code. Never judge anyone's code. But again, it's fun to look at, and it's also fun to sort of, what the hell did I do here? And let's jump in and make it better. There's obviously a degree on how far you can go, because of course you can refactor anything from 0 to 1,000, but also you have to look at the value. What are you actually trying to achieve? This code that we're doing now, it's a WinForms application. For the first phase, I will most probably do a kind of a roadmap sometimes when I have a chance, maybe on a Tuesday. So the first phase is to get everything as well. Phase 0 was to get the source code back, which we've done. Check. The first phase that we're busy with now is to also kind of modernize the stack a bit, but just enough so that we can sort of add more features to it and have it automatically deploy, etc. So one of which is putting Azure Active Directory behind it for user management. So we don't want to store passwords. The current version has its own password manager. We want to actually plug in Azure AD. It's almost done. The second one is move the database, currently SQL, up into the cloud, and still leave the rest as is, right? And as we move forward, we can make choices that make sense, right? So I think the idea is to move it towards a completely web-based system, but it might change. It might change that we go to web-based, but still keep a kind of a shell container to make it native or something. Or by that time, Blazor native will be around, and we'll have it like a Blazor native UI. We don't know yet at this point. And I think what I'm trying to say is that we should refactor towards a point that we can always say check and keep it that way forever, whatever that means. That's a tip. Okay, so what do we have here? I'm just gonna run it. Did you notice it automatically signed me in there? Look on the top right, it already signed me in as Joseph, so I'm just going to sign out. I want to get rid of this this login page, because the initial idea was that you are presented with, when you open up this application, you get all these icons, like this is all these companies that you can connect to. And because this was a local WinForms application that works on a local database or on your local network, for instance, each of these icons represents a connection to a database. And we can keep it that way still, but that means then you need to have the icon locally stored on your machine for it to work. I was thinking of, you know, when a guy logs in for the first time, you get its context already. Context, not contacts, context. That means you have, go back here quickly, go vnext. I think it is, what's Opera Cloud? That's the old one, or the old new one. Boom. So it auto logs in because it uses a cache currently for the Azure AD, and it stores the cache in this, if you go to the output file, into this bin file. So if you go to the bin directory, type here, this one, the jobcard.dll.mslcache.bin3 file. Oh, by the way, folks, if I'm going too fast, because I have a tendency to blah 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 and override, I need to learn to relax a bit. So that was one of the feedback I received a while ago. Ping me if I need to relax a bit. So just say slow down, horse, slow down. So in any case, I think the music is partly to blame for this, but in any case. So you delete this file, that's the local cache, and if you run it again, it won't find any token locally, so it will attempt to ask Azure to log in again. And here we are. We have a user, Joe Soap. Just log in and sign in, and there we go. That's the experience we want. No pop-ups, no nothing. It's part of the application. And I was playing around with the idea so that we can maybe replace these buttons also as web buttons, because currently it's just normal buttons, right? Will this actually work? Why is it so slow now? It's not supposed to be slow. It's hanging. Oh my soul. Let's see why it's hanging. Okay, my information, that will break. Why is this thing actually breaking? Something else is going wrong here. I think I've changed too much. It's maybe something we can fix. Okay, so what have I done? I've added kind of a security folder, and all the security things are in there. And I've introduced something called the authentication flow interface. All right. So what we have here is simple things. We've got a sign in and sign out methods, as well as a string, which is your authorization header. The implementation thereof will be, in this case, is Azure AD authentication flow. And when you call authorization header, it will just ask the authorization or authentication result that it will compute to create a authorization header for you. That's like kind of built into the Microsoft Identity client package that we have. And then as a dependency, we have a dependency on the Azure Login Custom Web UI, which is our implementation of iCustom Web UI. That's the way we can use our own little form to delegate user access. So in this case, we just use our own form to open up a web view. I think it's still web view that opens up the Azure AD login page instead of the built-in package one that pops up your browser. This is the dependency. Why? Because we have, I know there's some hard coding stuff in here, but it's fine. Bear with me. So let's see. Then we use this public client application builder, and we configure it. And then what it will do, the initial time, it will try and find. It will get to all the accounts that it has locally. I already have Joe Soap, so it will grab that one, and it will try to sort of get the token silently. And if that doesn't work, it will throw an exception. So in this case, it will throw an MSL UI required exception. So there needs to be some kind of intervention needed. So then yet again, we say, okay, great. Now we require a token interactively using this custom web UI that we pass in initially. Both cases, we are setting the authentication result. So you need to call sign in async before you can do anything else. So actually what we can do is we should be able to, because there's a string that doesn't really matter, before you can use this, you need to be calling this. So that's how you log in. Let me see. Okay, so we have also what I've done is I have moved, I think this login form we will probably move out because I like it to be generic. This token cache helper is a kind of a file that sort of keeps, or it's a class that handles our cache locally. This is actually a piece of code I've borrowed from the internet somewhere. Okay, Also, I've cleaned up a bunch of, this is the main form and its code. So I've split it up into a designer, because I note that when you reverse engineer it using that JetBrains tool, normally when you have a form like this one we've created earlier, the Azure login form, it has a Azure login form designer, CS. Both of these are classes, but the one is a partial class of the other one. When you reverse engineer, it just sticks everything into one class, which is a bit messy, you know? So in this case, we have in this normal one, we should have only the clean code or the functions. So I'm going to remove a bunch of things. We should have only the functions that we use. And here's a bunch of logic in here that I'm not necessarily proud of, but it's in there, and we can change them. And it's kind of hard to model this in a way that you model MVVM applications, but I'm gonna kind of try my best. So I was thinking about this flow, about this whole thing. Do you guys think it is a necessity or requirement, you know, when you run it, to ask for, just see what happens now, to ask for your company to log in as V1, or should we just skip this entirely and just ask for the login page? Just be presented with that login page that we see there earlier. The nice thing about this is that it's multi-tenant by design, so it's still files. Maybe we should keep it, because in here can be the tenant ID, and that's it. Or should there be? Because that's just a shortcut, right, of the actual connection string to the database. We will. Let's just quickly think about this now for 1 second. Let's zen out and think about it. First phase, we want to keep as is but modernize security and move the database to the cloud. By design, it's a multi-tenant database or multi-tenant system that has a database for each company. I want to change that. I want to change that in future versions, that you don't have physical databases for each organization. That doesn't make sense. I want to change it to one Cosmos DB, or have a Cosmos DB per one Cosmos DB account, and have a Cosmos DB for each client or for each organization, I think. Because if we take this out, let's do this quickly again. So let's just remove that file. So this is the experience you will get. When you run it, immediately you will be prompted with a login page. Given your login page, the user can still decide to log into, you know, Joe Soap at othercompany.com, whatever, directly, instead of clicking that icon. But is it intuitive enough? You know? So we have that, and then he logs into the job code in this case. And the way this works is that the moment he logs in, he or she logs in, there's the sign in. You call the authentication flow sign in, you know, and then we could refactor this. So now it's using the graph service client to get the user information, the user DTO, the user group DTO, to get its groups and to get its organization. And then once all three of those tasks are completed, because it's executed simultaneously, we will grab the first organization that is assigned to that entity. This is where it becomes interesting. Because how will this work? If we link Joe Soap, for instance, let's just see. I'm hooked to many organizations. One of those will work though. Yeah. Let's delete this file again. So if I log in as me, that will work by the way. Okay, now it's asking me to do this whole two-factor authentication thing that I've set up earlier. Let's just go set up. Just using my phone quickly to authenticator. Oh, not that. It's not Docker. Add account. This is a personal account. I think work or school maybe better. Scan it. Look, that should be fine. Yeah, now I'm logged to the job core company. Okay, next. And it's checking the activation status. I wish you can actually. Next. Okay, now it's going to send me a notification. I approve. Okay, so this is the first time the user needs to do this, and I'm not sure how this works with two-factor authentications, because this is then also a nice thing about using Azure AD. It comes out of the box. You don't have to think about it. Instead of implementing it your own, which is a nice thing, you know, just use something that is there ready. Verification successful. Let's make sure you can reach your mobile device now. What is happening now? I have no idea. Finished. Okay, so what's the problem now? Okay, so I think let's just stop it there. I might be linked to more than one organization. Oh, not actually. This thing is throwing error. Ooh, not that file. The wrong one. Oh, there we go. So now it's asking me, you know, I can use this one to sign in. But it's, let's see. It's not asking me for anything. Wonder why this is not working though. Some exception most probably. Okay, let's remove the file completely again. Let's maybe run it. And there we go. So this organizations, there's just one organization, right? So that's a job core company. But if you're going to be Joe Soap, you're going to be duplicating your tenant or your user in your other tenants. Laser696969. Hello. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Thank you for the chat. I think there's a little capuchin for you and for your emote. Thank you so much. Welcome. How are you doing? So the point is that we have one user per. So one user will always have one tenant. It won't be a many-to-many in this case, because if I create a different tenant, this whole sign-in dance, whatever you want to call it, is all called organizations. So it's multi-tenant there. So let's quickly do that. I want to actually see if we can do that. So open up my favorite browser. We go to portal.azure.com. And eventually we will be presented with this. Alright, so Laser says, I too want to write bad code today and want to come back 1 year later and ask himself, OMG, did I write this? It happens to the best of us, I must say. It happens to the best of us. But you know what? Can I let you into a little secret? There is no such thing as too bad of a code. You know, I always tell myself, way back when, it was the best code ever. And that's what matters. And if you can look 10 years or 12 years or 15 years down the line, back on the code, if you can find it, in my case, and you see improvements, you can tap yourself on the back because you have grown as a developer. You have grown as a developer that you can see it in yourself, you know, and no one else is as best critic as yourself, I would say. Laser, no, I do not work for Microsoft, unfortunately, but our friend Gerald Verschlees, he's in the house. He's working for, oh my soul, do we have number 100? I think Laser 696969, that person is our number 1 follower. Let's give him or her a Capuchin store and change the music to something more, I think something more bitey, I would say. You thought I work for Microsoft because of my cap. Now, I just like this cap. Hold on. I've got this one as well. It's our SDN cast. It's our Dutch webcast cap. If you go to sdncast.nl, you can follow along. We've got every Thursday night we've got a podcast, and then we wear that cap. Only have 2 for now, but yeah, it's a cool cap. I made it myself by outsourcing someone to spray it for me. That's how I roll. Later, no, I don't work as a freelancer yet, I would say. At the moment, no. Are you a freelancer? I wish your 69th follower. Okay, that yeah, because of your number. Interesting. So what I want to do now is actually create a new tenant. So how do we do this? Let's just see. Active Directory tenant. This one. Create. No. Let's call this the other awesome job code. For instance, you have the awesome one and the other awesome job code. So Laser, if you want to know about, he says he's interested in a freelancer or remote jobs. He's currently learning to code and currently applying for jobs. We have a community with a bunch of clever people that can help you out to get on board very quickly. So if you want, ping me on Twitter. I can hook you up. I can help you to get started with the right channels, if you will. By all means, stop me in the show. I will try my best to answer your questions. I do offer some basic workshops in some of my streams. I will do like C# 101 or something like that. If you want to have more than that, we can we can maybe see if we can hook you up onto, point you into the right directions where there are videos or courses, or come to our meetups. You know, if you go to Dutch.net, one of our meetups that we have in the Netherlands. I don't know where you're from though, but we have a lot of meetups, and of course from your country there is probably also a bunch of meetups. So go to these meetups. You can learn a lot of things there. Other Job Co. I'm just going to call it Other Job Co. It's my pleasure, Laser. My pleasure. You are from South Asia. Now, what time is it there now, currently? In the Netherlands. I'm from the Netherlands. Okay, so the Other Job Co. So what I'm going to be doing, good old Joe Soap will be recreated in that. So I have, in this case, there's no, I don't think there's a use case for having Joe Soap share tenants. That's just too complicated, I think. It's, of course, it's possible, but in our case, it's a bit too complicated. It's 10 past 1, but your stream is fun, stopping me from sleep. And I suppose it's Tuesday, right? Laser, is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday by you, right? So, happy Tuesday. I'm not wrong, you see? Give me 1 second, I just want to see what's happening. Talking from the future. One second. Hearing such weird sounds. Any case, so there's my directory. Boom. So now when this thing loads up, so which programming language do I use? So I use C# currently. It's awesome, and it's built on .NET. So if you don't know .NET, go Google, and you will find lots of things on .NET Core, which is cross-platform. It's awesome stuff. Let's go to users, and let's quickly add a new user called... you can actually add him as a guest. That's interesting. So let's do that. So let's add, in this case, we have... So let's add John Doe. And say this is John. John Doe, like that, I would say. Let me create my password, and I just want to call the same password as the other one, just to sort of groups. Well, roles, user. Can't really do anything here. Okay, blah blah blah. Let's keep it as is. And just for interest sake, I'm gonna add a guest user. Call it Joe Soap, and it was, I think, joe.soap at the jobco.onmicrosoft.com. I think it was Joe. Let's just call him Joe here, and then blah blah blah. It's probably going to email me there, which I don't really. Okay, yet again, it's going to assign me groups. Interesting. Uses location. That's interesting. You can. Okay, now I'm inviting Joe Soap from the other tenant to work here, which is totally possible. Let's just see how it goes. Laser, I am a backend developer, more like an architect currently, but I do like a bunch of code. I don't know, backend, frontend doesn't really matter for me, but I like backend. Backend is awesome. But I also tend to focus more on the global solution per se, not just the one piece of application normally. And that's kind of my playing area. I could also do front end, yeah. So it picks up the job code company, and I think, let me just see if I have an invite. 1 second. And how do I know? Does it actually come with the email address? Really? No, that's not where we want to go. Let's go to outlook.com. How many projects should I have in my portfolio to get my first job as a web developer? I think the right answer there is Laser. It depends. Maybe like 2, maybe 3. It would be nice. But there is no fixed number. There is no fixed number, I would say. So let's try this. Joe Soap at the job jobco.onmicrosoft.com. What's happening with this music? That won't work. Okay, so I have no idea how to get that invite now. So I've invited Joe Soap. Is it the username? Resend invitation. There's the invitation URL. Let's just go there. Now to log in again. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so the other awesome job code, I accept. So this one doesn't have two-factor authentication. Okay, so Joe apps. Also, bear in mind, this tenant does not have. This tenant does not have that application though. I have to re-add this application. It becomes a bit tedious, I would say, to do this way. What is my biggest goal in life? To make the world a better place by putting smiles on developers' faces, I would say, at this moment. 100 followers. Whoa, that's awesome. Let's make it 150. Because I'm very interested to see what will happen now. Probably have to go there and okay, this is now cool. So it's just, this is one organization that picks up. Okay, great. Sign out. On sign out should actually delete that file, I think, which is called sign out. Just skip this song. You're really giving me a smile on my face because of your stream. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. So let's log in as the Jobco. Okay, now I should expect more than one. organization, but there's only one. Okay. Does that mean... So I need a tenant. So I need a tenant obviously for this application and separate... and separate tenants for each organization. Hi, Tram Stars, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the comment. You ask, how did you make that UI? You mean this little UI? Well, it is old code, but it's still awesome. I made it in WinForms, and the controls you see here, it will break now. But the controls you see here is all my own controller I've written way back when. Just want to kill this breakpoint. And so all these little controls here, it looks almost like Vista. Alright, it is in GitHub, so you can go and grab it there. It's on, I've just posted it up here somewhere. Let me just see. What's happening with this music? Sometimes this music, I just I'm gonna quickly skip this, Joel. Let's go to ambient. That's fine? No, it's not fine. Let's go for some... That's much better. So we want to kill, I think, that one. There we go. So you want to go to the current and then down to the RayTech soft button. Still need to compile it though, so you can grab the source code there. Well, I only know basic of Java, so I don't actually know that. Java's cool, but I'm doing C# currently, and you know what? They're very similar. So if you know Java only a bit, you can follow along, I would say. Okay, so I'm losing my train of thought all the time here. Going back to where I started. So I've got this sign in. And I inject all these things. I'm not using this validate JWT token. I'm going to remove it actually. It's not needed. Tramstars ask, what is the use for your program? So the program I currently have is a job card program that's issuing job cards. So imagine you're a plumber or a builder or something, and you have a client. This program helps you to record a customer's details and also record a job card of all the problems and all the stuff, all the tasks that needs to be done to fulfill that job. It can be anything. It can be a broken geyser or something. The point is that you keep track of all these things, and at the end of the day, it will just keep them from new in progress or completed. And also, it's a kind of a CRM as well, so you can quickly get to your customers. This was an application that I've built for my folks long ago, and they're still using it till this date. Actually hounding me for more features. That's why I don't really want to make too much changes, because it's kind of stopping the show to go on. But in any case, they're using this, and they're using this for 2 companies, so that's also why I'm thinking of creating it multi-tenant. So I think for now, let's keep everything as is. I actually want to refactor a bit of things here. So we've got this form connection that we pass in. I'm just thinking about something. So this job card, or this icon that you see here, this will include the title. It's just a normal text file, right? That's also one of the reasons why I want to move off this model, is each of those icons that you see on screen is a file that looks like this, the JCC file. It contains a title and also the server name. So currently it's like pointing to localhost, local DB, and a database name. If we're going to be using SQL for this, we either can switch on, that we can do. We can switch on identity, what do you call it? Application identity or system identity in Azure to make this work, because we don't have a password that we're going to saving in the file. But let's get to that problem when we get there. Alright, so open organization, that's what you click to open, and this it uses to get a global connection. Let's just see the connection file. So read from file, that calls that. Oh my soul, how do I say this? Wait, I'm gonna type this out because I cannot really, using phonetics or something. Let's see. Z I P Y Z, I think. Y L Lizzie Pizzle. Hope I said correct. Lizzie Pizzle. Thank you so much for the follow. You are follower number 101. That's great stuff. Thank you. That's awesome. Welcome. Don't go anywhere. So this is basically parsing the file, and it feels like this should not be in there. But yet again, a part of me is like, do I bother? Because, you know, I want to get off these files. But fine, let's just keep it open for now. Right, so when we sign in, where this is coming from, it's from the main. Not from there, sorry. Oops. Go there. It's coming from the main, this one. Alright, so when the main form loads up, I call sign in automatically. That will give you that sign in form. It will come in here and this will do the whole OAuth dance. So this will call the sign in page, and when that's done, you know what we can actually do is, because it will throw a exception when it's not. I'm trying to think. So let's call this user profile task. Rename that user group task, like that, an organization task. Okay, when all those tasks are done, we created a result, which is the first organization, and we map it. We could use AutoMapper for this. So let's do that. So we now want to map something to our domain object, which is organizational entity. So all these things are sitting in the core of our application. So what we have is, maybe we should create a infrastructure project, maybe later, maybe infrastructure folder. Okay, maybe make infrastructure folder, I think that's much better. And in here we will call we'll create a new class, and we'll create let's call all our maps. Maps are, we want to map the following: organization maps. I think first of all we need some AutoMapper here. Maybe I shouldn't install it on this one. Maybe just create a new one. And let's do it. Okay, so let's create a .NET standard library. We call it jobcard.infrastructure. Right, and then we'll add a folder in here called maps, mappings. Let's move that one over to mappings up there. Let's call this mapping. Okay, so this should also right. Dot mappings. So let's add I probably should have ReSharp on another one as well, but not ReSharp, I mean AutoMapper. Let's add AutoMapper, install. That will install AutoMapper to our infrastructure project. Okay. And then what we need is public class. How does AutoMapper work again? AutoMapper.NET Core. Let's see. Hello friends, if you just joined us, we are busy refactoring code, and now we're implementing AutoMapper. I also need this one. Mapping profiles. Okay, I'll make a profile. Let's call this profiles. Profile. Mapping profiles. Done. Right. So we have a profile called, let's just call it grade map. I think it's a constructor. And then we want to say, we want to go, okay, control dot. Really? Yes. With that class, with that class. Okay. It's a profile, yeah. Using automapper. There we go. Now we have create map. So now we need to go from this what is it? This is a organization, which is, oh my soul, it's an organization, so it's a, I need MSL there as well. So we will need to install a bunch of the Microsoft Graph there as well. Let me just see where it is. Microsoft Graph identity client. This is not correct. So many things, yeah. Okay, so let's see. This is that task when all requests get async. So this is from the Microsoft Graph package. It should be fine. So I go down and I go install this to the Microsoft Graph. It should be fine. Was it Graph library and calling functionality used by Graph client libraries? This is now this one or this one? Yeah, let's just install that one. That's fine. A bunch of things. YOLO. Okay, so now we go to, I think it's Microsoft.graph.organization. That's actually living within Microsoft Graph, which is fine. Yeah. So we want to map that to job card.infrastructure. No. So this we want to map to add a reference. We want to map that to the core. Am I saying correctly? Core, oops, dot organization entity. Okay, so that's that profile. Let's maybe copy this, and it maps back again as well if we need to. All right, so then we have a user profile and user group, and I think both of them will be application user. So we'll create an application user map. Application user mapping or profile. Permanently close. There's a profile. Add automapper there. Do a constructor. We paste this one in. Now this is interesting. So we are going to create a map, but we're going to customize this map a bit. Let's maybe take baby steps. So how do we use this now? We can install here. Manage. Auto mapper, dependency injection. This one. Okay. That should be fine. Yes. Okay, so install. And on startup, we just need to remember to add AutoMapper. That's what they say. Add AutoMapper. Type of startup. Maybe that will work. Boom. Add AutoMapper. There we go. Great. So that's going to add AutoMapper. And to use it, I can just inject iMapper. So we're going to try this out. We have iMapper. We get from AutoMapper, and then that's called Mapper. All right. We control dot a mapper in there. And then when we go down, I think here, we could say AutoMapper, what's good about AutoMapper is it uses the names and it maps it automatically, so we don't have to do anything here. So we can get rid of that and we can go mapper.map and then the destination. So we want to go to organization entity and the source, which is the first organization result. That should do the trick. So now, core is not supposed to reference. Wait, we're doing something wrong here. Yes. So the core project is not supposed to reference anything. Need to reference infrastructure here. I think that should be fine. So when it starts up, it will scan all the libraries. Just put a breakpoint there to see what happens. Okay, so that, and then will that work? It breaks. Let's put a catch. Exception. And throw EX. Okay, let's see what happens. I don't think it's wired up properly. So missing map configuration supported mapping types. Organization to organizational entities does not exist. So for some reason it's not pulling in. Aha, okay. So here we need to tell it that it needs to get it from all the assemblies. Does it even need it? will happen if I do that? Will it? I need to start for something there, so so let's go automapper type of, what's this now? What is this? Aha. Profile assembly marker types. What does that mean? Is there automapper documentation on this? There we go. Automapper. Boom. What did I say here? Where is the GitHub business getting started guide? Okay, come on. Docs. We want to get started. That's what we want to do. Come. Docs. Okay, examples. Okay, that's a bit ridiculous. There's the maps. Assert configuration is valid. Create map. Okay. How do I do this again? I'm not lost. Do we need to go both ways? I don't think so. I see, so it calls initialize. Why is this not working for me? This is so overcomplicated. I wish we could have just gone back to this example, because this is after installing blah blah. Let's do the startup. Let's do it in startup class. So okay, so what we can do is let's just see add automapper. Assemblies. Profile assembly marker types. Now what's that? profile assembly marker type. I have no idea what that is. So if we say class 1, which is the marker, call that, it should pop in something, right? Okay, that worked. See, that worked. So we need kind of a marker. So how are we gonna do this? What's a cool way of doing this? Let's call this public mappings marker, or mappings. Actually make it interface. It's called iMapping or something, just to take the edge off. It's just a marker. iMapping. We could say public abstract class come now, mapping profile, for instance. Okay, and then inherit this from profile. Am I doing something wrong or right? Let's see what happens. Okay, that's cool. Mapping profile. And the startup will just call mapping profile. Control dot that guy in there. Like so. That should do the trick, right? Boom. Okay, so that works. Alright, so we have got that cleaned up. Now the other one is this application user, because it takes in application a user and it takes in a group. Let's just kill a few of these. This one. So what we'll do is we create a map from because you can only map from 1 to 1. So what you can do is you can create a tuple. type tuple maybe. How's a type tuple look again? Type tuple C#. Tuple types. Is this a thing? So instead of using automapping, we could have just used a normal DTO builder. Okay. How do we map multiple sources? Multiple sources. It's been done before. Multiple sources. Let's say what I see here. Create map. Map from. Okay. You cannot map the many sources single destination. You should apply maps one by one. Okay, so create a map and a map there. And okay, map it like that. Okay. So he says we should create a map for each. So we have an application user and a user group map. So we have application user map. Let's create another one called a user group. User group mapping. And that's also a mapping profile. Alright, so construct in there. Do it kind of like that. Add auto mapping. Oh, not that. We want to go from, I think it's called a group, if I'm not mistaken. It's this directory object. It's this one. We want to go from this one to a user group. Card. I'll do it fully qualified just for the giggles, you know. Because that will map there. And then for the other one, application user profile. It's a mapping profile actually. Doesn't really matter. Then we create a one for application user, so which is user, I would say user. Yes, and that goes to application user there. But then we want to say, you know, specifically for member. Member is for member groups, I would say. That one. map using map from what? Yeah. Source dot. Okay, that's now the source. Now the source is here. A user. That won't work. So map from application user group. This one I want to mapping from, not application user. It's something else, like a value resolver or something. So map from, and this is the value resolver that it's looking for. How can we do this? Let's think about it now for 1 second. Okay, source member. So is it correct if we say map from group or something? C# micrograph group maybe. Will this work though? Okay, to do that should work, right? So not darn. How does this thing work? So you have a value resolver, which is that one. Oh, I see. You have to pass in a expression. Right, so here what we do is we have the user, we pass the user in, and the group, because group is it's a value tuple. Can you believe it? So G, that's a U. It should resolve. Oh, sorry. This one maps now. Source destination. So what we have here, that's the user, and that's the, what did I say? Source destination team member. So source destination and team member. My eyes hurt. So if we're passing 4 in, it should be the result. Yes. So if we say it's the user, it's application user, and this is just the object, it doesn't get back anything else. And these parameters are not really working. And maybe here actually. Source member. There we go. Let's go to the value resolver. AutoMapper value resolver. Let's see. So what we have is a custom resolver. Let's maybe paste it in here. And this takes in source of group, so it's Microsoft.graph.group. And destination should be that, right? Destination member. Alright, so this is the source. So the source is the user group. Can that be the case? No. Go to user group. I'm a bit confused. Interesting. Maybe let's start over here. So, for member, for groups, right? So maybe skip this song. Then we have the configuration, which is add transform, map from, convert using. Value converter. What is a value converter? What is this one? Okay, so it's source, destination, and destination member. So you want to go from source user to application user, right, to destination member, which is enumerable of group. That. Yeah. That. Okay. Control dot implement interface. Okay, so this return application user group. I actually want to give I think the quickest will be just to create a tuple here. Because I can inject imapper trying to think now what's the best way of doing this. So we can say application user group result is two lists of type Microsoft group. Okay. So we could say mapper.map user group, I guess. in here. And then pass in this result. I suppose. Okay, so that kind of can also kind of work, I think. Let's run it and see what happens. Okay, so obviously we'll have a problem there. Let's keep that there. And see. Anyway. So that kind of worked. Alright, so pencil pusher and all that kind of things are there. I want to give it a value. I think the quickest way of doing this is yeah, we need to create a tuple, but no. We might as well keep it this way. Multiple sources. 2 objects into 1. Let's just see what they say here. Let's skip that one. Well, I think we left with user with group is a new tuple. And this should be Microsoft Graph user and Microsoft Graph group. It's a user result, user group result in there, I suppose. Oops. This is definitely not readable. So we can now go mapper dot map. I want to map to application user, for instance. And then user group. User groups actually. And there, I think that's the best we can do. And then I think it was a tuple, right? So a tuple of user and Microsoft Graph Group. Okay, and that goes there, and then this is application user. This goes out like that. Okay, so that works. Okay, so it doesn't work. Okay. Alright, so I first need to member display name. No, wait a minute. This for member ID. The configuration should be map from source item 1 dot ID. I think do the same for other one. This, yeah. Display name. That should work. There we go. Okay, just go back to the other question I had here, because I need to assign an application to this thing now. How would that work? This client ID here needs to be registered. So accounts only in this directory only, or accounts in any organizational directory. Use this option if your target audience is internal to your organization. All users with work account can apply. This includes school businesses that use Office 365. Okay, wait a minute. Let's add okay, so now we invite this user in. So let's go, what was the other one called? The other awesome job co. This was called John Doe. This was John Doe, right? Okay, so blah blah blah. We can also maybe make him a pencil pusher. That's fine. Invite. He's now as a guest. Let's quickly add John Doe's invite here. Really? Okay. All right. I'm gonna skip for now. Pencil pusher. Okay, fine. Yes. Okay. Now, if I sign in. John Doe. John Doe. that? What's it called? This one. Okay, I need. Okay. I know I broke the application. Stop it. Okay, admin. Need some admin something here. Mm-hmm. How do I give permissions now? Okay, wait a minute. I think I'm a bit confused here because John Doe is a guest. Assigned roles. See, default access. I see. Directly assigned. Okay, so let's add job card. Oh, where do I? Okay. Job card user. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Let's see. Add application permission to guest. Are you ready? Okay. That's maybe enterprise applications. Yes. Groups are not available for assignment due to Active Directory plan level. My gosh. Okay. we say John Doe and Joe Soap. Okay, that failed. And Joe Soap is already okay. So now this is John Doe at called this one. And the password. I still need approval. Job card app needs permissions to access resources in your organization that only admin can grant. Okay, so do I need to go to Active Directory here in Enterprise Applications, job, and then okay. Okay, let's just sign in. Okay, now this will work. It will break again. Need admin approval. No, something is not Okay, so C. Just do this again because I think something is not really. We need to kind of rethink the way we need to log in here. Okay, maybe it's in here. Job. No. Okay. Maybe it should be application level permissions. Need admin approval. I cannot understand what it means. Okay. Okay. Made that change and see if that works. Don't think it will. User can consent apps to access that data on behalf. User can admin. Users can request admin consent unable to consent to. What? Users can consent to apps accessing company data on their behalf. Okay, the question is, will it now work? I have to figure out how this works. Okay. Okay, so maybe. Oh, you know what? Actually, switch directory. Okay. Mm. Okay. I tell you what, I will take this offline and see where, because it's a bit late, and I think this needs some investigation, because what we have here is we have multiple tenants sharing one application. I do not want an application to be created in each tenant. We want one application to share users. So I think before we move on any sense, we need to figure out what is the best way, the best practice to do that. So yeah, like always, thank you so much, guys, for viewing. I'm not going to raid anyone now because it's kind of past my bedtime. I will see you guys during this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. We will see. Grim Zunuk, hello. Thank you for stopping by. Unfortunately, I'm going offline now, but hey, thank you for stopping by and say hello. Crimson, there we go, Crimson. Yeah, but do follow me. A button over here, just click there, and the next time I'm live, it's a bit erratic. You'll get a notification, and then you will know when I'm online, so then you can join in the fun. Unfortunately, I need to go now because of time. I want to thank all of you folks out there and speak to you soon. Thanks for hanging out, man. Cheers.